Another day, another development in the Sam Kerr story. As you know, Sam Kerr is the captain of the much-loved Matildas team, that is a team that has built its reputation over many decades on anti-discrimination, zero tolerance for any form of discrimination and inclusion. It's one of the reasons why this team has a brand, an image, a reputation of appealing to so many people around the country. Sam Kerr plays for Chelsea in the UK. She was involved in an incident over a year ago where it is alleged that she called a policeman a stupid white bastard. She has been charged with aggravated racial harassment. Many people, on hearing the news overnight that the term white is the racial term used in this incident, has changed many people's perspective. And they are saying you can't really racially abuse somebody who's called white because of the traditional power balance or imbalance that exists. And that race and racism is something that is used for marginalised or minority communities. But if you look at the law, both in the UK and in Australia, it does not distinguish race in any of those terms. It just says if any form of race is used as a term of vilification or hatred, it is against the law. So in many ways, this has become a bit of a test case. It's certainly tested our response to hearing the news overnight that this was a white police officer who was alleging that he felt harmed or threatened by the language that was used by Sam Kerr. It's also testing the extent of the law and how the law views these instances. I heard a really good interview with Rob Harris from the Sydney Morning Herald, who's based in the UK, and he was saying that news has been coming out that the police in the UK have been talking about how much time they need to spend now prosecuting these race hate crimes, whether it's in crowds, at football matches, whether it's on the street, whether it's on social media. So this is really testing how far and to what level these sorts of cases can go. It also tests our response to these sorts of scenarios and whether, if the term black was used, do we treat that differently to if the term white is used. So there are all of those complicating factors, but it doesn't take away from this other element, which is that Football Australia is the governing body of the sport in this country. They know the reputation that this team holds. They also know that Sam is in a difficult position, having to go forward with the trial in this case. She's heading back to the courts in April. Her lawyers are going to have try and have the case thrown out. But in the meantime, we've got a Matildas team that is heading towards the Olympics. They want to do exceptionally well. They've never won a medal before. They'd like to do so this time. You've got Sam, who's also recovering from ACL reconstruction, a knee reconstruction, and now dealing with this legal case on top. And the whole thing about when you're a captain, what you stand for, those values you stand for, and whether she should have alerted Football Australia to the fact that this was happening in her life because they were caught unawares earlier this week. So all of these things are playing into what has become a very complex and challenging story, but it doesn't take away from the fact that there is a law that is being prosecuted. We have to wait and see what happens or whether it's thrown out. And in the meantime, how does the Matildas team best prepare for the Olympics, knowing full well that Chelsea has now come out, it's taken a while, but they've come out and said that they fully support Sam Kerr through this. And Football Australia did say that the other day, that they support their player, they checked on her welfare, but it doesn't take away from all of these other factors that go into the tapestry of this thing called integrity, sports governance, inclusion and non-discrimination.